Cheat codes have been a part of gaming for decades. From the 1983 ZX Spectrum title Manic Miner, where entering developer Matthew Smith's driving licence enabled a cheat mode, right up to modern times, where EA now hides the bloody things behind a paywall. Cheat codes let you win a game without consequence. But what if there were cheat codes that came with a catch? What if they were not all what they seemed? They downright betrayed you. Or, worst of all, completely destroyed your game. Yep, they all exist. As this episode, we take a look at these deceitful duplicities, these traitorous tricks, and these flim-flamming fixes. As I say, but hello you. I'm Guru Larry, and I welcome you to Fact Hunt. 5 cheat codes that totally screw you over. Do you remember rock and roll radio? Well, if you remember the cheat code to Parallax Software's 1995 game Descent, you're screwed. Published by Interplay, Descent was a futuristic first-person shooter set across the solar system, and was a fairly groundbreaking release for its time. Piloting your spaceship to fight off an extraterrestrial virus that's infecting precious mining facilities, Descent utilises a 6 degrees of freedom movement system, and is in fact the Guinness World Record holder for being the first fully 3-dimensional FPS. The war against the alien robot invasion can be a perilous journey, but if you swallowed your pride and typed in "Gabba Gabba Hey," you enabled a cheat code to take the pain away. The code is a reference to punk rock band The Ramones, who used the phrase in a song entitled Pinhead. The band themselves having been inspired by a scene from the 1932 film Freaks. Cheat mode allows the player to enter codes to attain full energy, shields or weapons and the like. The following year of '96 saw the release of the sequel, originally intended to be an expansion pack, Descent 2. So, you may have believed that typing "Gabba Gabba Hey" into the latest instalment would activate cheat mode as well. But, oh no, it doesn't even come close. Type in the code and the game literally calls you a cheater and drops your health and shield down to 1%. Not only does the game verbally shame you, but the message, "Take that, cheater," is displayed on screen, and it makes a swift death inevitable. So how's that for shock treatment? Typing "Gabba Gabba Hey" into the original Descent enabled cheat mode. But try the same thing in Descent 2 and you won't have the strength to endure anymore, having punished you with drops to a mere 1% health and shield level. This cheat code is surely gonna be the death of you. It's left you all screwed up, and you're too tough to die no more. I'll get the code. Lara Croft has been one of gaming's most iconic heroines since Tomb Raider's original release back in 1996. Part of the franchise's popularity, some might say to put it mildly, is Lara's visual appeal. Or to put it slightly less mildly, like game designer and journalist Stuart Campbell.
Lara's popularity comes down to 2 words, and the second one is jugs.
The Croft craze was in full swing, and when news broke out that a so-called nude patch for PC existed, rumours began spreading like wildfire that there was a hidden way to play as Lara entirely naked. EGM magazine garnered further gossip by printing a trick that was purportedly a nude code for Tomb Raider, with what looked like a screenshot of the code in all its glory, but had to confess in a later issue that it was indeed just an April Fool's joke. Once more, a nude Raider website surfaced with images that were even more feasible to be actual mods to the game, rapidly turning the rumour mill. Core Design wanted Nude Raider and the other sites taken down, and denouncing the inappropriate use of their character in a 1999 BBC article, said,
"We are looking into taking legal action. There are a number of websites featuring the character, but there is one particular site which is causing most of the concern. We have a large number of young fans, and we don't want them stumbling across the pictures when they do a general search for Tomb Raider.
What didn't help matters was EGM, again, in a later issue directing their readers to exactly where these images could be accessed, in what was a huge advertisement for the site. Under asterisk was written, "By the way, EGM does not condone or approve of this in any way." Yet they alerted all of their readers to his existence and endorsingly wrote, "For the best fantasy images of Lara, check out the Nude Raider site." Yes, not condoning or approving it, that's all. IDOS sent cease and desist letters to shut sites down, eventually gaining the rights to nuderaider.com. And yeah, don't bother trying typing it in because the website no longer functions. Despite this action, intrigue continued to grow, with adverts for cheat devices such as Exploder teasing that you could activate new codes with their products. And back on 23rd of April 1998, someone on a Google forum on the topic of a nude code who claimed to be Andrew Ho, a member of the core design team, posted,
"We, the development team, have an unwritten agreement not to deny it." It's more funny that way.
Anyhow, the cheat code. Consistent with this humorous outlook they seemingly had on this situation, Core decided that for the sequel, Tomb Raider 2, they would give the player a huge surprise if they tried to enter the nude code. Not by making Lara strip down to her flesh-filled polygons, but to make her explode into pieces instead. Ever since, the nude code has gone down as a legendary tale in gaming history. After exploding on the scene, Lara literally exploded on your screen. I wonder if someone at Core Design was a butler in a previous life. Revenge is a dish best served cold. From the freezer. Developed by Origin Systems, 1996 saw EA publish Crusader No Regret. Set in a 22nd century dystopian future, you rebel against a tyrannical government as a protagonist known as the Silencer, a man hunted by Disney lawyers for copyright infringing Boba Fett, apparently. Now, the game is considered more of an expansion port with new content, as opposed to a true sequel to the previous year's Crusader No Remorse. Is it possible to get remorse before regret? Does it work that way? Anyhow, this outlook on the game was corroborated by the game's director, Tony Zorovec, who explained time constraints meant that additions he would have ideally liked to include in No Regret couldn't be completed. Now, like its predecessor, No Regret has a cheat code. But what if curiosity got the better of you and you entered the cheat code for No Remorse? Well, you're greeted with the message, "Of course we've changed the cheats. Duh!" before being teleported into a room full of bosses.
"I've been waiting a long time for this."
And even if you do beat them all, the game kills you off anyway. This utterly chaotic level was also accessible with a player's computer date set to Christmas Day, whilst a techno remix of Jingle Bells and Frosty the Snowman merrily played in the background as you were being humiliatingly destroyed. So, No Regrets may come across as a misleading title after you've tried that one. Merry Christmas. Heretic, the ginger-haired half-brother of Doom. Released in 1994, and again in 96 when it had the subtitle Shadow of the Serpent Riders added for its European launch, Heretic was developed by Raven Software, who, with the help of John Romero of id Software, used a modded engine from Doom. In fact, it was published by GT Interactive via id Software themselves. Heretic does innovate from Doom in some areas though. For example, Heretic is regarded as being one of the first FPS games to have an inventory system. The glaring similarity is hard to ignore, however, with some of the weapons firing in an almost identical way to those in Doom. So you'd be forgiven in believing that maybe some of the cheat codes from Doom might still work too. But, oh how wrong you are. Doom has two widely known cheat codes. IDDQD, believed to derive from the id and id software and the name of a joke fraternity, Delta Q Delta, that programmer Dave T. Daly came up with during college, and IDKFA, which is believed to derive from the letters id combined with an acronym keys and full ammo. But enter the IDKFA code from Doom into Heretic, and you'll be rewarded by having all your weapons taken away except for a wooden stick, and the helpful message, cheater, you don't deserve weapons. And if that wasn't enough, entering the cheat code for invincibility, aka God mode from Doom, IDDQD, will prompt the message, trying to cheat, eh? Now you die, and will instantly kill you off. And as I love you all, here are some bonus facts about Doom codes. In MechWarrior 2, typing in IDKFA gave you the message, this ain't Doom, bub, and destroyed your battle mech. In Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, you could skate as a Doom guy, and entering the same code in Doom 3 does absolutely nothing, except prompt the message, your memory serves you well. Say that to the heretics. Developed by Rare, BanjoKazooie went down a treat with Nintendo 64 owners on its release in 1998. A 3D platforming adventure, revered for its luscious level design and satisfying soundtrack. The plot involves a wicked witch called Gruntilda Winky Bunyan, fitting name eh, who kidnaps Banjo the Bear's little sister Tootie. So Banjo, along with his bird companion Kazooie, set off to rescue her. If you want to give Banjo a boost in his quest for Tootie, there is a sandcastle you can enter underwater in Treasure Trove Cove that allows you to beak bust in some cheat codes. There are many codes that the developers deem acceptable for use, like the infamous stop and swap codes, and other cheats which can be learned from in-game characters, such as Bottles the Mole and the aptly named Cheeto, like the code Wishy Washy Banjo, which transforms Banjo into a washing machine, and Bottles Bonus 1, which causes Banjo's head to grow. However, Banjo shouldn't get too big-headed, as there are some extra naughty codes not learned in-game that open new worlds and note doors that the developers weren't so tolerable of. If you enter 2 of these cheats, the witch will grunt, "Stop this cheating," Grunty says, "or your game pack I'll erase." If you conclude that her truth-telling must be as bad as her ability to rhyme, and continue to enter a 3rd code, Bottles will say, "Banjo, if you use a 3rd cheat code, your game pack will be erased. Are you sure you want to do this?" Similarly, early in the game, if you keep pestering Bottles after you refuse to take part in his tutorial, he also threatens to delete your save. He counts down from 3, no doubt resulting in many kids back in the day quickly turning off their console with their hearts in their mouths. Luckily, Bottles' threats are empty ones, and your save file is safe. But if you think Bottles and Grunty are talking a load of mumbo-jumbo on this occasion too, you're in for a surprise. If you call Bottles bluff and select yes after entering a 3rd non-permissible cheat, Grunty says, "You didn't listen, I'm amazed, so now your game pack is erased." If you select save and try to quit and salvage your progress, it doesn't work, and when you boot the game up again, you'll be left with an empty save file, forcing you to start over from the beginning. Thankfully, Grunty only erased the game save you activated the 3 cheats on, not the entire game pack, so alternative game saves will still function. She's not that evil, but this surely would have disgruntled players who couldn't believe that their save file was actually gone. And for those of you wondering what happens in the 2008 Xbox Live Arcade version of the game when attempting to enter the forbidden cheats, Rather than deleting your game save, it disables saving your progress any further and doesn't post your score to the leaderboards. So remember, it's acceptable to become a washer, but cheaters never prosper. Special thanks to Sorax Space for editing today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell icon to be first to receive the latest Fact Hunt episodes. And if you want to be super awesome, check out my Patreon, where you can see episodes even earlier, as well as totally ad and sponsorship free. But thanks again for watching, and I'll be seeing you next time. Ta-ra for now!